Attorney General incurs the wrath of the NPP as he's accused of attempting to discredit the judiciary before the party goes to court to challenge election results.
Is it being suggested that the NPP should abandon the judicial quest challenging the validity of the election because the judiciary will not give us justice? So that if we do that, then the NDC gets away with whatever it has done. I think it is more diversionary. If people do not have confidence in the judiciary, in the event that the NPP wins its case, what will the NDC do? And I do not think that the Attorney General's outfit should be putting up such a report at this time.
We will hear from the AG, whose commissioned report describes the judiciary as highly corrupt, a position also criticized by the Bar Association.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
Top Story is brought to you by Bond Financial Services, your success, our passion, Belacra Mineral Water, the new generation mineral water, as well as myjoyonline.com. It is diversionary and a totally unnecessary ploy to discredit the judiciary before the NPP takes its election rigging allegations to court. That is how the NPP's legal team chooses to describe the Attorney General's report, which concludes that Ghanaians are losing confidence in the judiciary and that the courts are, quote, highly corrupt. The chairman of the NPP's legal committee and former Attorney General, Ayikwe Otu, is not happy with the timing of the report. He has strongly criticized the Attorney General for publishing the draft report at the time when the NPP is gathering evidence to challenge the election results in court. We will shortly hear from Mr. Otu, but the Ghana Bar Association is also raising similar concerns. The president of the Greater Accra Bar Association, Frank Davis, says the report is disappointing.
To come out with such a report. You see, when people table these kinds of things about the perception of the judiciary being corrupt, it erodes total confidence in the judiciary. You see, we are at a point in time where the courts of our country will be called upon to determine certain matters. At least indication has been given when the courts of our country will be called upon to determine certain sensitive matters affecting the democratic credentials of the state. And if the Attorney General, who is the leader of our bar, should come out with such a report at such a time, it actually erodes the confidence that the population will have in the judiciary. I don't think it's... In any event, this is a draft report. What was the hurry in coming out with this draft report? Why wasn't there little hesitation and wait? I mean, for the final report, what does it mean? What is the draft report supposed to connote? I mean, I don't really get it. I feel very disappointed by this. I don't think this is the time to cast aspersions and to create some dishonorable perception about the judiciary. I mean, they are doing their utmost best. People always talk about the judiciary being corrupt. They talk about the judiciary being corrupt. I mean, there is no substantive evidence. It is always perception. And I ask, what is the sample base and who are the respondents?
The NPP is also raising serious concerns with the contents of the report, but more importantly, the timing. Ayikwe Otu is the chairman of the party's legal committee and former Attorney General. He joins us live now. Thank you, sir, for your time. We'll also be joined later by the Attorney General himself, Dr. Benjamin Kumbo, who commissioned the report. Ms. Ayikwe Otu, you believe this report is diversionary. Why?
Well, somewhat that in that commission for some time now. And then they would not even wait for the report. And they now tell her that they are putting up what they call a draft report. And the Kumba is alleged and what they call a
Okay, unfortunately, the line is not that great. We'll call Mr. Iko to back and then pull the questions to him so we can hear him clearly. We're also waiting to hear from the Attorney General himself, Dr. Benjamin Kumbo. We're talking about the concerns raised by both the President of the Greater Accra Bar Association, but also by the NPP, but also looking at the substance of the report and the key issues they raised there. For example, 90% we are told believe the judiciary is highly corrupt. Also, we are told that many Ghanaians indeed have lost confidence in the judiciary. We'll be looking at those substantive issues. Some say these are issues that were known before this report confirmed them. So what are we doing to resolve some of these key issues that the judiciary is being accused of today? Corruption, lack of confidence, delay in prosecuting cases. We will speak to the Attorney General. He commissioned that report. He will join us shortly here on Top Story. We'll also be speaking to Iko too. He was on a line with us, but the line is not great. I wanted to have a clearer line so we can have a better conversation that you can hear and appreciate. This is Top Story. We're talking today about that report that was indeed published in the Daily Graphic today, talking about a report commissioned by the Attorney General to look into the judiciary, the court system and its practice. I spoke to some respondents using the in-depth interview approach, and some of them gave the opinion as far as the performance of the courts are concerned. Some say indeed they've given bribes to officials of the court before as they interfaced with the court. Some suggest that, well, they believe that the system itself is corrupt. We'll be trying to understand what that means exactly. I'm told that Mr. Iko is just joining us again on the line. Hopefully the line will be better and clearer so we can hear what he's saying. But pardon us, Mr. Iko, we had a bad line too. That's why we had to call you back. You were making a point explaining why you believe this report is diversionary.
Well, is it better now?
It's clearer. It's fantastic.
I was making the point that if the report had been commissioned, why wait till now to publish it? And again, why don't you wait for the final report? We have been told of an interim report. So what is the rush and why is it that it's being put up now at the time that the MPP is challenging the president-elect results in the judiciary, the highest court of the land? Because don't tell us that people have no confidence in the judiciary. Is it another way of saying that, therefore, please don't go and waste your time at the court because nothing good will come out of it? And I don't expect a Minister of Justice, whose duty it is to defend the state, to rather be acting in this way at this time.
Mr. Iko, thankfully, I've been joined by your colleague, the Attorney General right now, Mr. Benjamin Kumbo, who's just joined us on the line right now. Thank you very much for your time here on Top Story. I want you to stay on the line for me, Mr. Iko. You've asked some questions, and I want to give the Attorney General the opportunity to respond to some of the questions. Thank you, sir, for your time. We've just been listening to your colleague, Mr. Iko, who believes that the timing of the publication is wrong. He's asking questions about why you're publishing the report right now. And if it's a draft report, what is the rush, he's saying? At the time when the NPP is about going to court, relying heavily on the same judiciary we have been told in this report, people believe is corrupt and people have a lot of confidence in. How do you respond to the concerns that he's raising?
Well, I'm really surprised about the type of statements that have been alluded to the Attorney General's office. The first thing is that what is the basis for Ayukwe to asserting that the Attorney General has caused anything to be published or has published any report? The Attorney General has not caused any report to be published. What we have is that a baseline survey based on a UNDP project in which consultants were appointed. The consultants carried out the baseline survey on the number of thematic areas, which included the confidence of the public in the justice system. The Attorney General's Department had no way of framing the terms of reference for that. And so when the baseline results then came to a workshop to be validated, the AG was invited to come and open the workshop. Now, if you look at the statement that was made by the Attorney General there and given to the press, nowhere did the Attorney General attempt to evaluate the report and the findings of the researchers. Because it is after they have validated it and submitted it, it becomes a document for action of the Attorney General's Department that we can then make a comment on it. So I don't know what has been in the media the whole of today. But I want to make it clear that the Attorney General has not caused any report to be published. Neither has the Attorney General published any report. Researchers are independent operatives who are coming under the UNDP project arrangement. We are the beneficiary institution of the findings. We are not the only beneficiary institution. We are not the only stakeholder. I just happen to be invited as the Minister in charge of Justice to come and open the validation workshop, and that was all that was done.
So in terms of commissioning this report, or indeed participating or giving your blessing for it to be conducted, the Attorney General did not have anything to do with it at that initial stage. You were just invited to at this validation meeting.
Precisely. It's purely an administrative and a ceremonial activity. When they were launching and commissioning the baseline surveyors, I went and opened it and left. When they finished and came out with their draft report, and it had to be adopted by the stakeholders at the validation workshop, I was invited again just to come and open it. In fact, I did not even sit through the presentation of the report because that's not part of my work.
I see, but
after I opened it, I left.
His point also, beyond the information we had today, which was published in the Daily Graphic that you commissioned, and he has concerns with the content, which he believes basically.
Well, if you are, I am an academic, and I know what you do when you disagree with research findings. If he has a problem with the findings of researchers, he should not have a problem with the Attorney General. The Attorney General was not a researcher.
What do you make of
anybody who has carried out research studies knows that when you are challenging research findings, there is a way and a form in which the challenge is done.
But
it should have nothing to do with the Attorney General, who did not carry out any research study.
As a beneficiary, you've said, of this particular report, what do you make about...
Why are you saying as a beneficiary?
No, you describe...
It come to the Attorney General, and the Attorney General has the right to say that, as far as we are concerned, we cannot implement this aspect of the justice sector.
So let me ask you that question, because you
conclusion already that we are a beneficiary and that the findings in that draft report.
No, you actually speaking to you right now. You say
listen to me. Just listen to me very carefully, because you are raising the question, and I'm asking you that why is it that you already assume that we are a beneficiary based on the findings that have not yet been submitted to the Attorney General for us to decide whether we accept or we do not accept.
I make that point not to make a conclusion about you being a beneficiary or something that is being suggested to be trying to discredit the judiciary, but as an institution about which this report concerns. That's what I mean when I say beneficiary.
Do you know the number of institutions that this concerns? The Commission for Human Rights is involved. The Ghana Prison Service is involved. There are so many stakeholders, and the judiciary just happens to be one of them.
Okay.
Have you found out what the draft report has said in relation to all the others?
I want to ask you then, you talk about the fact that it hasn't even come to the point
what
when...
I'm telling you is that, look, please, I don't get involved in things that people don't want to proceed logically. I have made a categorical statement that we did not call any report, draft or not, to be published as Attorney General's department.
I understand the point.
I am the right person to be asked these questions.
I am asking you about, since indeed, and you've made the point that you're one of those institutions,
but
together with others, indeed, who basically have been mentioned in this particular report as though. I'll be grateful, Honorable Attorney General, if you can also address the issue. Moving on beyond what has been said about whether indeed you commissioned. You said so.
The error that you are making. I want you to put it out to the public there that I've stated categorically.
No, but I think that point has been made, Mr. Kumbo.
Any report published.
I think that point.
Did it direct anybody to publish a report?
I think that point has been made.
To make that point clear.
I think that point has been made. So I want to move on to my next question about the substance.
I want to make that point clear. And if that point is clear, why are you moving to? Let me discuss the merit of the report.
What you were at this particular
statement I should be able to make to you is that
Mr. Benkumbo, would you listen to a question? You were at this particular meeting where this was discussed. Yes, the merits are yet to be decided. You have even not decided yet, as you said, whether to take the issues or not. But I'm asking you.
Do you want me to continue to be on this interview.
Absolutely,
I have explained
absolutely.
to you that I was not there when the report was being discussed.
You said you were at the meeting and you left. Didn't you say that?
I said I opened the function, and I was the second speaker.
And I believe you were invited, sir, because they believe that this has something to do. You are one of the institutions that indeed was it concerns. And I'm asking exactly, and I'm asking you, sir, that what do you make of the contents of the report when it comes to the judiciary? You say you're yet to take a decision whether to implement or not, but I'm asking you, going forward, what do you make of the contents?
Yes, please listen to me very carefully. If any researcher and anybody who understands how research processes are, particularly commissioned research, the stakeholders finish, they validate it and hand it over to those who commission the research. And it is part of a wider justice sector intervention. When those who have commissioned this research then refer it to the Attorney General's Department and other stakeholders, we are not even in a position in Attorney General to sit down and take a decision. It will have to involve government, that these are the findings of the justice sector. Cabinet will have to take a decision on that matter. And we might even decide whether we agree with the findings or we do not agree with the findings. So where do the Attorney General come in at this stage to be answering questions on whether the research makes sense, it doesn't make sense? That is not my role.
So in other words, you're not ready to pronounce on that yet, because there's a whole process.
I cannot pronounce on a report that has not yet been validated, and I was not part of those who crafted it, and I am not even sure of how the processes went through. I should not be making that comment because it has not come to me yet.
Okay. Now, but what about the issues, general issues that already been discussed already, even before this report came up? And obviously, as a key stakeholder in the execution and in the delivery of justice, the concerns that indeed this report touches on have already been discussed already in the public domain. One about the performance of the courts, the judiciary, etc. From where you sit as a key player in that system, what do you make of some of these concerns that some of the respondents have raised?
That's why I want to tell you that for those who are in their comfort zone and can afford to make comments in relation to the judiciary in legal matters, I don't belong to that comfort zone. First, I'm the head of the bar, and the bar works hand in hand with the bench. You cannot be asking for what my own opinion about what others are saying and the public is discussing. The rules of engagement for me as Attorney General are completely different. And so for those who have that luxury to make those comments, that is entirely theirs. I have a higher responsibility to be very, very careful about what comments you make, and worse still, to make comments about comments other people have made. And that's why I'm telling you that I don't belong to that bracket. I'm a public official, and I have responsibility as the principal legal advisor to government and state. And so I cannot afford that luxury of going to run into public commentary for those who have no responsibility for their actions.
I see.
And what they say.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Attorney General, Dr. Benjamin Kumbo. I still have me on the line, Mr. Ikutu, I believe.
Yes.
Great. Now, the Attorney General says basically that they had nothing to do with this particular report. They didn't commission it. He was just invited at the stage where they were discussing the initial draft report. He actually even just went there and left. They didn't sit through this. He doesn't want to have anything to do with the contents of the report and discussing it because he's yet to come to his table for government to consider it, whether they're going to adopt its content or not. What do you say to that?
Well, this is your program, and your programmers perhaps could have found out more about this so-called report issued by the Attorney General as reported in the graphic, because I believe that the starting point was reported in the graphic. And if we had all believed that perhaps what was being said of the Attorney General was true, he had the opportunity to explain. I do not have anything to disagree with the point that he has made. I have been in office before, and I know some of these difficulties that public officials go through. And he's saying that he did not commission the report, he had not received the reports not be referred to him. All that he read was also, all that he knows is what he also read in the papers. So to that far, I do not think that we should be holding him responsible for the publication, except to go back to whoever commissioned the report, find out the sample size, and then ask ourselves whether any good work has been done.
Okay, we understand from what he said that this is clearly a draft. From what he said also clearly, this is in the works in terms of it's been finalized. And so some of the key ingredients of the story I was published today by The Graphic are still true. For example, the issues that they've raised in there about people's perception of the court. You've worked in the court for a while, and indeed once Attorney General. What do you make of some of the concerns that some of these respondents raised in this draft report, I must emphasize?
Okay. I've been the president of Greater Accra Bar. I've been National Secretary of the Bar. I've been a member of the General Council of the Bar. And in all this, there's one lesson we have learned, that the judiciary ordinarily will not come out and defend itself. And that when the judiciary is under attack, it is rather the bar that, tries to explain the circumstances. We are also aware that when it comes to corruption, we are aware that both the giver and the taker are involved in the corrupt or a criminal practice, for which reason nobody is ready to go and say, look, I gave bribe to this man and all that. So at the end of the day, we measure the corruption by the perception and not necessarily as a result of, evidence. Now, if you look at 946 people polled out of a population of almost 24 million, and we are being told that this is representative of the entire nation, less than 1,000. I have my problems with that.
Okay, and of course, it's as this debate indeed starts, and the Attorney General has explained that indeed they have nothing to do with the report.
Yes.
We will indeed examine the details in there. And indeed, on Newsnight, if you join us, you will listen to some views we've also gathered from people who've had experiences with the courts before. They'll be sharing with us their own experiences with the courts, as we heard the former Attorney General also say. But this is Top Story. My name is Evans Mins. It's brought to you by Bond Financial Services, your success, our passion, the Belacra Mineral Water, the new generation mineral water, as well as MyJoyOnline.com.
Yes,